Hello students, in this video I'm going to continue the chapter statistics. In the previous class we have solved some question how to find out the mean when the given data is discrete frequency distribution, and at last we have also solved problems related to missing frequencies. So now in this video I'm going to solve problems on continuous frequency distribution. So I told you in the previous video the major difference between discrete and continuous frequency distribution. So in continuous frequency distribution, so the first column is actually class interval. Okay, so it consists of two numbers. It is a grouping system. Okay, class intervals. In that class interval, the first one is called as first number, lower limit, and the second number is actually called as upper limit. So let us suppose the class interval is like this, 10 to 20. Then 10 is called as a lower limit and 20 is called as what? Upper limit. And the second most important thing in this section is finding a class mark of a class interval. How to find out the class mark of a class interval? Just you need to consider like this: upper limit plus lower limit, or else lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. So let us suppose 10 to 20 is a class interval. The class mark of this class interval can be obtained by like this: 10 plus 20 divided by 2. 10 plus 20 becomes what? 30. 30 divided by 2 means you will get what? 15. So this is actually very important. So in this section, because we are always going to calculate class mark in each and every problem, so that's why finding a class mark is very important. And also you have learned this one in the previous class, means in the 9th standard, and also in the first video I told you how to find out the class mark also. So now let us begin the today's class. Now look at the heading, mean by direct method. Okay, so now look at here, I'm going to calculate first mean by using what? Direct method. And what type of frequency it is? It is actually what? Continuous frequency distribution. Look at here, continuous frequency distribution. Okay, so in the previous class the same thing we have studied for discrete frequency distribution. So now the first problem is already on the screen. Now look at the problem is like this: a survey was conducted by a group of students as a part of their environment awareness program, in which they collected the following data regarding the number of plants in 20 houses in a locality. Find the mean number of plants per house. Okay, so there is a survey conducted by the students. So it is actually based on what? Environment awareness program. So in a locality, so 20 houses are surveyed. So based on what? How many plants are there? Okay, in each family. Okay, in each house, how many trees are there? How many plants are there per house? So the data collected is actually like this. Okay, look at the first column here, number of plants. The first row is actually what? Data. Now look at here, this is actually called as what? Class interval, 0 to 2, like this. Okay, here 0 is lower limit, 2 is upper limit, same sense, 2 to 4. Okay, so the class intervals are continuous, because the word continuous is because, now look at here, so whatever the upper limit present here, look at what is the upper limit here? 2 is the upper limit. The same number becomes lower limit for the next class interval. So that's why it is called as continuous frequency distribution. So here also, from a second class interval to third class interval also, look at here, here upper limit is 4. So then the same number becomes lower limit of the next class interval. So that's why it is called as continuous frequency distribution. The name continuous is because of this reason. Okay, so now the next thing is, okay, so actually he is going to ask what, find the mean number of plants per house. Okay, so means you need to calculate mean of the given data. So now let us and also one more thing is there, which method did you use for finding mean and why? So particularly I have mentioned, okay, I'm going to use a direct method here. Okay, and later I'm going to confirm you so which method is suitable, okay, for a given data. Okay, after the end of this solution I'm going to clarify this one for you. So now let us look at the solution. So now the first thing is actually what you have to write down the given data in the table format. Okay, so now look at here, there is a slight change in the table. So from discrete frequency distribution to continuous frequency distribution. So from continuous discrete to continuous, only the changes is you need to add one more column. Okay, if you add one more column and the rest of the things is same as that of what discrete frequency distribution. If you understand one problem, the same will be applied for the remaining problem, and I think you can understand in a single question. Now look at the first question here. So look at here, in the first column what I have written, so this is actually the data so given in the problem itself. Okay, so this is actually the data given in the problem itself, and the second column is actually what, so this is actually what, frequency given in the problem itself, I have written as it is. So now look at the third column, it is important. So now in the third column I am going to write down what, xi. Okay, so you must write down this column immediately when the given distribution is continuous. Okay, so this is compulsory. Okay, when you are going to find out mean, so in the case of continuous frequency distribution the third column should be xi, but in particular for this problem it will become once again a number of houses. Okay, I think I have made mistake here. Actually, just leave this one, number of houses. It is actually related to what, this is frequency. I think I have made mistake here. Actually, I have to write on just xi. Okay, so in third column, just write down what, xi. Don't write on this one. Okay, don't write on this one. What? So this is actually wrong. Okay, number of houses. Actually, you have to write on this one, number of houses. Actually here. Okay, it is right. Frequency is actually what, number of houses, and the third column should be equal to xi. Look at the fourth column, it is actually what, fi into xi. Okay, so now before that the first step is actually what, so taking the sum of frequency column. Okay, it gives what, total number of observations or total number of data. So how many houses are surveyed here? 20 houses. That's why 20 observations are there. So if you add the frequency column, you will definitely get what, 20. Summation fi is equal to what, 20. You can verify this one. So now the next step is actually very important. Okay, so finding a class mark. How can you find out the class mark? Class mark means what, the third column what I have written. So this is actually in the third column you have to find out what, class mark. Okay, so how can you find out the class mark for 0 to 2? 0 plus 2 divided by 2. 0 plus 2 means you will get what, 2, divided by 2 means you will get 1. So class mark of 0 to 2 is what, 1. In the same sense, what is the class mark of 2 to 4? 2 plus 4, it will become 6, divided by 2 it will become 3. Okay, in the same sense, 4 plus 6, 10, divided by 2 it will become what, 5. Okay, so the same thing I'm going to calculate here. So just look at the slide. Look at here, 0 plus 2 divided by 2 you will get 1. 2 plus 4 divided by 2 you will get 3. 6 plus 4 divided by 2 you will get 5. 6 plus 8 divided by 2 you will get 7. 8 plus 10 divided by 2 you will get 9. Okay, 18. 10 plus 12 divided by 2 you will get what, 11. And the last one, 12 plus 14 by 2 you will get how much, 13. So this is the only additional column when you compare this one with the discrete frequency distribution. If you know this one, if you understand this one, the entire problem is similar to that of discrete frequency distribution. There is nothing to understand more here. You have to understand the column xi, how to find out xi. It is very important. I hope it is very clear for you. So now the next thing is actually what? Fi into xi. Okay, here it is fi, okay, and here it is xi. So then you need to multiply these two. 1 into 1 it will become 1, okay, 2 into 3 it will become 6, like that, okay, similar to that of what discrete frequency distribution. Just multiplication of frequency column and xi column, that is class mark. It's also called as mid value. Sometimes it's also called as what? Mid value, okay, class mark, or just xi. All are actually synonyms, okay, so you can use any one of the word. So now I'm going to form fi xi column. So look at the slide. 1 into 1 it will become 1, okay, and then in the second row 2 into 3 it will become what? 6. 1 into 5 it will become 5, and then 5 into 7 it will become 35. Next one, 6 into 9 it will become 54. 2 into 11 22, and then 3 into 13 39. So now fi into xi is over. So what is the next step? You have to take what? Sum of fi xi column. Okay, so if you take the sum of fi xi column, you will get this answer. You can verify 162. Okay, so the sum of the last column is equal to what? 162. So now summation fi is already ready, it is 20, and summation fi xi it is already ready, it is equal to what? 162, and summation fi is equal to what? 20. So now what is the remaining? Just writing the formula, substitution, simplification, then you will get mean number of plants per house. Okay, now look at the slide. We have, once again I'm going to write down the data what I have obtained from the table. Summation fi 20 and summation fi xi is equal to 162. Next formula, we know that mean is equal to summation fi xi divided by summation fi. Okay, so here the same formula. Okay, there is no changes in the formula. Okay, when you compare to discrete to continuous, there is no changes. Okay, only the type of data changes, but there is no change in the formula. Remember, same formula I'm going to use here. This is the formula of direct method. Okay, so now substitution. X bar is equal to 162 divided by 20. If you divide 162 by 20, you will get 8.1. So therefore, mean number of plants per house is 8.1. So this is actually the answer for the given question. So now one more additional question is there. So the answer for that one is like this. Look at the slide. Here direct method, actually I have made some mistake here. Direct method, spelling mistake. Okay, here direct method has been used as the values of class marks and fi are very small. So this is the important thing. Okay, try to understand one important thing. He may add this one in the questions. Okay, suppose it is added in the examination, you must write down the answer for this one, otherwise you will lose the marks. So now look at here. So this is actually what? Frequency column. Okay, frequency column, and this is actually what? Class mark, that is xi. Okay, it is actually called as what? Xi. So now look at the column fi and xi. If there seems to be smaller number, then it is better to use direct method. Remember, so I have not clarified this one in the discrete frequency distribution. Actually I forgot means no question added like this. Okay, but here it is added, that's why I'm going to explain here. The same thing is also applicable for discrete frequency distribution also. Okay, so now look at here, frequency column and what xi column. If the number seems to be smaller, it is better to use direct method. If the numbers are larger, whenever they become larger, if the class interval, suppose it is like this, 100 to 150. Okay, so then if it is 100 to 150, then what will be the value of xi? You will get 125. So means it is a huge value. Okay, so 3-digit value. Okay, if the numbers in the xi column appears like this, around 100, around 90, 80, 70, and also the frequencies 20, 30, okay, 15, 18, okay, 13, 17, 21, like that. If the frequency column contains numbers like this, then it is better to use what? The second method, assumed mean method. So because whenever the numbers are smaller, it's very easy to generate fi xi, but whenever the numbers are larger, we need to what for to calculate fi into xi. So it's take time, and also it becomes a difficulty for you to calculate the product. So that's why remember this one. If fi xi are smaller, then direct method is suitable. If xi and xi contains a larger number, means a 2-digit number, 3-digit number, like that, then the suitable method is actually what? Assumed mean method. Okay, I have clarified the additional question, and I will move on to the next question here. So now I will move on to the next type of problem. It is actually what? Mean by assumed mean method. Okay, so I'm going to calculate a mean by assumed mean method here, and it is actually what? Continuous frequency distribution. Same thing. This is a question number 11. Consider the following distribution of daily wages of 50 workers of a factory, and the table is like this. So 100 to 120, 120 to 140, 140 to 160, 160 to 180, 180 to 200, and the frequency second column 12, 14, 8, 6, and then 10. Okay, so now you need to find out actually what mean wages. Definitely, okay, here it is given. Find the mean daily wages of the workers of the factory by using an appropriate method. So look at here, data is actually what? It is wages. Wages, what is the unit of wages? Rupees. Okay, we always give the wages in terms of rupees. Okay, in India. In other country it may changes. Okay, depend upon the country. It is already given rupees. Okay, I'm going to carry the same unit. Now look at the solution. First thing, you have to write on the table. So now it is actually what? Assumed mean method, remember. So now look at here. So first two columns from the given problem itself, and look at the third column, that is what? Xi. Okay, Xi. And once again I have made mistake here. Once again you need to clarify here. Okay, so I have written once again here number of workers. It is actually wrong. Okay, you need to write down number of workers actually here. If you write on here, it is right actually. Okay, so just write on this one as Xi. Okay, so please make correction this one. I'm going to erase this one. So now look at it. So the third column xi, I told you in the previous problem, same method. Okay, look at 100 plus 120 divided by 2. So what will be the mid value of 100 and 120? It is 110. The same thing actually called as class mark. For the second one, 120 to 140. Okay, so what is the mid value of this one? Okay, so what is the mid value of 120 to 140? It is 130. Definitely it's 130 xi. In the same sense, here it will become what? 150. Here it will become what? 170. Here it will become what? 190. Definitely. Okay, so now you can clarify all these things. Look at the table. So before that, you need to take what? Sum of a frequency column. So the sum of frequency column is equal to 50. Definitely, because it is actually, the data is actually what? Of 50 persons. Okay, wages of 50 persons are actually it is calculated, data is actually like that. So that's why it should be equal to 50. Okay, you can add that one. And the next one is the third column, that is xi. Okay, so now look at the third column. It is generated like this. I think you have understood. No need to explain this one. 140 plus 160 by 2, 150, 160 plus 180 divided by 2, it will become 170, and 180 plus 200 divided by 2 is equal to 190. So now the next thing is very important. Okay, I'm going to write on here directly, because it is already known for you in the previous thing, means in the discrete frequency distribution you have understood how to find out di, that is xi minus a. So now here xi means it is generated now. Xi, you need to consider this one. And also a means what? Assumed mean. I told for you how to choose the assumed mean also. So which is the number you want to take here as a assumed mean? So I told for you, always choose the smallest number. It is the better thing. Okay, so otherwise you will get negative numbers. I told for you. I'm going to show you how it will be negative in the next coming question. Okay, so now look at here. So in the xi column, so what is the smallest number? It is always the first one. Okay, remember. So the first number in the xi column is always obviously smaller. So that's why choose the first number as a, that is assumed mean. Okay, here it is 110. Okay, so now look at here. I'm going to choose assumed mean a is equal to 110. Okay, you need to write on like this. After that, now xi minus a means now a is equal to what? 110. It is fixed one. So now in this case, so now look at here. In the first case, xi means what? It is actually 110. Okay, 110. A is also equal to what? 110. Okay, 110 minus 110 means it will become 0. Okay, so now the next thing is xi means in the second row it will become 130. 130 minus a means what? It is 110. So 130 minus 110 means it will become 20. Okay, in the same sense, 150 minus 110, 40, and then 170 minus 110, 60. In the same sense, the last one, 190 minus 110, it will become how much? 80. So I'm not going to apply animation here. I have written directly. Look at here, 0, 20, 40, 60, 80. So all the numbers are positive here. Okay, so suppose if you choose the middlemost value, that is 150 as an assumed mean, above 150 you will get negative values in the di column. Okay, below 150 you will get positive numbers. So for 150 it will become 0. So that's why. Okay, so if there are negative numbers, there is a lot of possibility to do mistake. So that's why this is a better way and it is your choice. And the next step is actually what? Now you have to generate the last column, that is fi into di. So remember here, so now you need to multiply actually what? Frequency and deviation. So now that's why here, look at here. So here it is the fi. Okay, so here it is what? fi. So here it is fi is actually 12 and di is present here 0. Okay, 12 into 0, 0. So in the same sense here 14 is there, 14 into 20, it may be equal to how much? 280, like that. Okay, the same thing, 8 into how much? 40, like that. Okay, you need to calculate like this. Okay, so now look at the table, you will get the answers like this. 12 into 0 means it's always equal to 0. So next one, 14 into 20. Okay, 14 2s are 28 and one more 0, 280. So then 8 into 40, it will become 320. 6 into 60, it will become 360, and 10 into 80, it will become 800. Okay, so this is the FI column. Next, what is the next step? You need to take the sum of the last column. If you take the sum of that column, you will get 1760. Okay, so now the remaining thing is actually what? Just writing the formula and substitution, simplification. Okay, so once again I am going to write on the given, means the obtained data, summation fi 50 summation fi di is equal to 1760. Next, formula. Okay, so this is actually what? Formula to find out mean by assumed mean method. Same formula is applicable for continuous frequency distribution and also for discrete frequency distribution. There is no change in the formula from one type to next type of data, remember. Okay, so now you need to substitute. A is equal to what? Assumed mean 110, and then summation fi di is equal to 1760 and summation fi is equal to 50. So now first you need to divide 1760 by 50. You will get 35.2. And then you need to add that one to 110. You will get what? 145.2. So this is the mean of the given data. So then write on the conclusion. Mean of daily wages is 145.2. Don't forget about to write on the unit rupees. Okay, here wages, it is actually given in rupees. So that's why the mean wages is 145.2. So now I think in the last question I have clarified one thing. I think it is now better understand for you. Okay, you can understand in a better way. Now look at the fi and xi column. In the FI column, the numbers are seems to be larger. Okay, but actually in particular in the xi column, all they are actually 3-digit number. If you apply direct method for this problem, you will definitely get the answer, no doubt. Okay, you will definitely get the answer, but it become complicated. FI column will become it consists of large numbers. Okay, and then taking sum of all those numbers. Okay, it will become a huge number, and dividing that one by 50, maybe lot of difficulties over there. So that's why whenever the FI numbers are larger, it is better to use what? Assumed mean method. So now in this method it becomes a slight easy when compared to direct method. Okay, so this completes this question, and I will move on to the next question. Look at here. Mean by, here also I'm going to calculate by assumed mean method. Okay, continuous frequency distribution of varying width. So in this 9th standard, you have studied the data with varying width. So it happens only in case of continuous frequency distribution. So this is because I have to clarify one thing for you. So what is actually width? Okay, what is the width of the class interval? So first look at the question. I'm going to clarify you later. A class teacher, 18th question, class teacher has the following absentee record of 40 students of a class for the whole term. Find the mean number of days a student was absent. Okay, so this is the absentees data. So by a teacher, you need to find out what is the mean days of absent. So now look at here, the first row, it is actually what? Number of days, it is a class interval. Second row, it is actually what? Frequency. So now look at here, I'm going to clarify you one thing. Look at the class interval 0 to 6. Okay, in a class interval, always this number is greater when compared to the first number. Means when compared to the lower limit, higher limit is always, upper limit is always greater. That's why it is called as upper limit. Upper limit is always greater than lower limit. If you take upper limit minus lower limit, subtraction, difference, it is called as actually what? Width of the class interval, or it is also called as what? Class size. Remember, class size and width of the class interval both are one and the same. How to calculate this one? Upper limit minus lower limit gives rise to what? Width of the class interval, or our class size. Now look at the width of each class interval in this problem. But in the previous problem, if you try to identify the class width, okay, class that is width of the class interval or class size, it is always constant. Okay, but now look at here, 0 to 6 means its width is 6. 6 to 10 means its width become 4. 10 minus 6 is 4. And then 10 to 14 means its width become how much? 4 again. 14 minus 10, and 14 to 20. Now look at here, what is the width of this one? 20 minus 14, it will become 6. Okay, so for the first 3 class intervals it is actually 4, but for the 4th class interval it will become what? 6. Now look at here, 20 to 28. Now what is the width? 8. Okay, again changes. And from 28 to 38, again it will become 10. Okay, again it changes from last class interval. And 38 to 40, once again here changes. Okay, just 2. So now that's why here there is a varying width. So now the thing is how to find out the mean when the given data has varying width. So no problem, there is no separate procedure to find out the mean of a data which is having varying width. There is no separate procedure. You have to follow the same procedure as it is. Okay, same procedure what we have solved earlier, the same procedure is going to carry here, and it is your choice to use direct method or another assumed mean method. It is your choice. You can use any method. In both methods you will get the same answer. So that's why for this question I'm not going to animate this one directly. I will give the solution for you. So look at the solution. So this is actually a solution. Okay, so entire solution is displayed here. So just look at here. So now look at here, xi, he is going to give the xi formula. How to calculate this one is not already known for you. Upper limit plus lower limit by 2. So now look at the table here. Okay, so this is actually what the data it is given in the problem itself, and Fi frequency given in the problem itself, and you need to take the sum of this one, it will become 40. This is actually what summation Fi. Okay, so now look at the rest of things. So now actually next third column is actually what Xi. Okay, so now look at here, 0 plus 6 divided by 2. What is the mid value for this one? 3. Okay, so that's why Xi is equal to 3. And 6 plus 10 means 16 divided by 2 means it will become what? 8. Okay, the same thing. Okay, so 10 plus 14 means it will become what? 24. 24 divided by 2 means it will become 12. Okay, the same procedure you have to apply, and you will get the remaining exercise like this. Okay, so the next step is very important here. So now look at here, in this solution he is going to choose 12 as what? Assumed mean, which is a mid value actually. Okay, mid number in the Xi column. Now look at here, so 17 is actually middlemost value of the Xi column, so he's going to choose A as, means assumed mean as 17. Then look at here, how to calculate here, 3 minus 17. 3 minus 17 means it will become what? Minus 14. Okay, next 8 minus 17. 8 minus 17 means it will become what? Minus 9. Remember, negative sign. Okay, so next 12 minus 17, it will become what? Minus 5. Okay, so next 17 minus 17 in this column. Okay, it will become what? 0. So now look at the next one. Okay, 24 minus 17. Now look at it, what will happen? 24 is greater. Okay, so 24 minus 17 means it will become plus 7 here. Okay, and then 33 minus 17 means it will become 16 plus 16. 39 minus 17 means it will become what? 22. So now you can observe carefully here, above the 17 di is negative, below the 17 di is actually what? Positive. I told the same thing in the earlier problem, why I am going to choose the smallest number in the Xi column as assumed mean. This is the problem. So now look at here, on multiplication also you will get here what? Negative numbers. Okay, but here you will get positive numbers. So now while taking addition of this one, you should be very careful about here. Okay, because there is a negative numbers and positive numbers are there, it gets subtracted actually. Okay, you should be careful about here. So that's why, and you should be careful about here. You will definitely get the answer, but you should be very careful. So now try to solve this one in this method only. Okay, in the same method. Okay, by choosing 17 as assumed mean, try to solve this one, because you will get idea about when we choose the middlemost of Xi as the assumed mean. So what will happen in the solution? Okay, you will take an experience for you. So that's why take 17 as assumed mean and solve this question. Okay, even if you take 3 as assumed mean, according to me, okay, if you choose 3 as assumed mean, finally you will get the same answer, 12.48. You can verify this one. Okay, so now I think everything is over. I think everything you can understand, the remaining thing same as that of the previous problem. Okay, so that's why this is the question number 80, and I'm going to stop here today's class up to here. So now I'm going to show you the problems what I have given as an homework for you. So now look at here. So actually I have solved today from question number 10. So question number 10 is already over. Okay, and question number 11 is actually already over. Okay, question number 11 also the same thing actually I have carried. Okay, daily wages of 50 workers. Okay, it's over. And question number 12 is an exercise for you. 12, 13, 14, and then 15, and then 16. These are all exercise for you, and the question number 16 is from NCERT example question, and for question number 15, 14, and 13, and then 12, you will get the answers from NCERT textbook only. So that's why I have not given the answers for you. So now the next thing is varying width. Okay, in case of varying width, I have solved this one. Question number 17 is already over. Okay, the same question I have solved just now. I have shown the solution for you, and this is the one more question. This is actually an NCERT example question. Solution is already present in the textbook only, and but try to solve this one. Okay, so for this question, choose the assumed mean as the smallest number of the Xi column. Okay, so then you will get the same answer definitely as in the textbook, because in the textbook he is going to choose the middlemost value of the xi column as assumed mean. Okay, so even though if you consider the smallest number of xi column, you will get the same answer. You can verify this one. And today I'm going to stop the class up to here, up to question number 18. Okay, so solve all the homework question what I have given by today only, because tomorrow I'm going to begin continue the same problem, same variety of problem, so for missing frequencies. And before that, actually, whenever the data is not continuous, okay, you have to convert that one into continuous frequency distribution, then you have to solve. Okay, in the next class I'm going to solve 3 more questions for you. So one is based on actually what whenever the frequency is not continuous, and the next one is when one missing frequency is there, and the next one is when 2 frequencies are missing. Okay, I hope today's class is very clear for you, and I'm going to stop the class now. Thank you.